Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Kuhn, and this is my thesis presentation for Project Portfolio 3. So, coming into the Web Dev Project Portfolio class, I didn't really have a super strong understanding of JavaScript. That was all I had coded in for Portfolio 2, and this iteration of Project Portfolio, I focus more on how the three interact with each other. So for my final, I have an external style sheet. I have almost all of my code in HTML, and JavaScript is some of the more advanced functionality like saving and loading for people. I also spent a little bit of time doing research on uh, big names in web development and learning about some of the traits of web developers, including some of my own. Um, and I also learned about prototypes and MVPs and all kinds of interesting topics. And I want to go through a couple of them just to, I guess, share what I learned this month with everyone. Um, so for career strength, some of the things I learned about web devs is that they really get nitty gritty with details when it comes to their work. Um, kind of a 50-50, that they're good listeners. They can take whatever details. This one's really worded poorly on my part, but they're able to take details and take them to the next level and code it or make whatever change needs to happen to the application. They're great puzzle solvers, and they're not the best when it comes to time management. I've noticed, myself included, all my friends that are in web development, mobile, anything coding, it just reaches a point where you get so lost in the work that you don't have track of time outside. And all that aside, it's also not that easy of a job to communicate with other people. Learning about prototypes, I read into different development methods like Agile and Waterfall. I read into a couple of different successful prototypes, most that I'm already familiar with, but more to do with their development cycles and etc. But the big takeaway is that there wouldn't be a project without prototypes. You got to start somewhere, and obviously you have to test functionality when you're coding, and it doesn't really make sense to try and test functionality all at once, all of it together. So you end up with either multiple prototypes or you end up with a semi-final of some sort somewhere along the way so that you can test these kind of things. And investment and bootstrap funding, this was one of my final topics in the class. It's just the difference between whether you go out and get a loan or you raise the money yourself. More a fan of the bootstrap. I mean, nobody wants to have to pay off loans, and if they're getting a percentage of your product or your business, then you risk, losing what's yours. So, yeah. So looking back on the class and advice for anyone taking it in the future, the thesis assignments affect how you think and act throughout the week and in class. So try and get those done sooner than later. Ollie is the man. Ask him any questions you have. And even if he doesn't necessarily know the answer for a coding question, he knows who to point you to, and he knows how to help you find what you're looking for. If it is coding advice that you need, talk to Joe. He knows literally everything that you could need to know. And I mean, you might disagree with him, or you might not want to use a certain, language that he recommends you to use, but more often than not, he's probably right. And my final piece of advice for anyone taking the class would be pick a realistic project, because you are expected to kind of have something done by the end of the month. And, if you're going to make this huge, great idea and then not deliver, you make yourself look bad and you make yourself feel bad. Whereas, on the other hand, you set yourself up with something that you can definitely do and you have the time for. If you have extra time, doing extra work is just going to make it look and be that much better, and everyone around, your classmates and Ollie included, will think it's awesome. So try to, find that perfect middle zone where you can get the work done. Still definitely push yourself, but don't try and code Facebook. It's not going to happen this month. And that's my presentation. Good luck anyone in the future, and thanks for listening to my presentation.